I'm Rebecca Schinsky. I'm the Associate Editor and the Community Manager at Book Riot. I think how readers find their books is that is the question. And we've asked our readers directly at Book Riot, where do you get your recommendations? And they say things like, I browse the shelves, I talk to booksellers, but also I read a lot of blogs, I read stuff online. And we certainly at Book Riot think that where we're headed is online discoverability, and that it's not just about front lists. Like, publishers tend to be excited about their front list, and 3 months after that book comes out, they're done talking about it. But most readers aren't the readers that we are in the industry, and they're not concerned about what's brand new. So we try at Book Riot to talk about the new books, but also just anything from the backlist that we're reading that might interest our readers as well, and to talk about it in a way that introduces them to, if you liked 1984, here are 3 other books that you might not have heard of yet. We do find that younger readers are hungry for content about books online, and it seems to be this myth in the industry that young people aren't reading anymore, or maybe it's just good fodder for cranky blog posts. The kids these days play their Angry Birds and don't read books. But our readers are primarily 18 to 35 years old. There's a 50-50 split roughly between men and women, and that's a demographic that not a lot of book coverage is hitting. And they're excited, and they're into books, and they want to talk about them, but they don't have much invested in reading the right stuff or reading what's cool or what they're supposed to read. They just want to read what they're interested in, and to be spoken to as peers, not someone coming down from on high to tell them what they should read. I think that's really changing, and social media has had a lot to do with that. People want that level playing field. They don't want to be told what's right and what's wrong for them to read. They just want to hang out and talk to readers, and we think that's important. Most of our contributors are on social media, and so our readers talk directly to them. They talk to me behind the Book Riot curtain, but they talk to our writers too, just as normal people that care about books and want to engage with them.
Book Riot is not a romance blog, it's not a sci-fi or YA blog, it's not a fiction blog, it's a book blog. So you're talking about the generalist idea of books and book love. When you were putting together, or when you were involved with the idea of Book Riot in the beginning, or earlier, was there concern that sort of high space, like generalist publishers who are struggling to figure out how to find their marketplace, that would be a tough space to protect?
We weren't really concerned about protecting a generalist space. Book blogging had become so niche, with people doing super specific things. I only write about young adult coming of age novels with punk music, that sort of thing, that we wanted to bring back that idea that people are into all sorts of books. I think really few readers read just one type of book, and so you can read a bunch of different niche blogs, or you can find a place that talks about all the different kinds of books that you like. And we knew that we were taking a risk as publishers were moving away from being generalists. We knew that we were being a little risky to go into a generalist model of talking about books online, but we thought that it was really worth it and that readers would want it. And since we don't do a lot of book reviewing, we talk more about all of the stuff that it is to be a reader and all of the pieces of your reading life. We found that readers really like that. It's sort of a holistic approach to what it is to be a reader. So book blogging really is shifting, and I think a lot of us at Book Riot, well, most of our writers have had their own blogs, and many of them maintain them, and we've been through sort of that cycle that book bloggers go through, where you start off and you're just writing about what you're interested in, then you start working with publishers and you start getting review copies, and there's this pressure to be reviewing the stuff they're sending you. And then you get sort of past that and you go back to, I'm just going to write about what I'm interested in. That's the best thing for me and for my readers. So we are interested in talking about front list at Book Riot, but we're only interested in doing it for as long as our readers and our writers are down with it. And we know that that's not all they're into. So I think there's sort of this cycle that book blogging goes through, or that each blogger goes through in their lifespan as a blogger. And when you get past wanting to please publishers and you really start thinking about the fact that the people that you're serving are your readers, and that's who you owe the good content to, and that's who you want to put the interesting books in front of, that's how we've aligned stuff for Book Riot. That's what makes the most sense to me, is I don't really care what you want me to review. As a publicist, I'm interested in what my readers are going to find most interesting.